Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Socially Inclined, where we believe marketing should be simple, effective, and most importantly, affordable. In this episode, we'll be sharing expert tips and strategies to help you increase your visibility, engage more of your audience, and reach more clients than ever before. So if you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, keep listening because you're about to get socially inclined. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jess, and today I'm going to talk about something a little different, kind of new for me, but we get this question a lot here at Socially Inclined, and that is, what is a content calendar and how do I create one? First of all, a content calendar is nothing more than laying out a calendar for the month, whether you do that in something fancy like Asana or Trello, or whether you use something more my style, which is often pen and paper or a Google Sheet, or sometimes, if I'm feeling fancy, a Google Calendar. But it's really just a matter of laying out some content for the month and having a little bit of a plan and a strategy for attacking that month from a social media marketing standpoint. Because when you are planning, you are often keeping your goals in mind, which means you're acting proactively instead of reactively, which is what we love to have you do here at Socially Inclined, because it just makes such a difference in your results. And we all want better results. We all want more leads. We all want more follows so that those can turn into sales and more money for you and your family. So how to create a content calendar and how to finalize one and actually execute it is not really, I guess it is kind of an art, but really what it takes is just a little bit of focus and a little bit of know-how. So I'm going to talk about this. It's kind of hard to do in a very general sense. So I'm going to talk about it in the context of the month we have coming up, right? So whether you're listening to this a week after this podcast comes out or years down the road, we're in the middle of June or almost the middle of June. So I want to talk a little bit about what a content calendar planning and creation would look like for an upcoming month. So July, for instance. So you create this content calendar so that you can kick the month off on the right foot. Super crucial piece of your marketing strategy. So what you're going to want to do is create a content calendar that aligns with your goals as a business, because your goals may look starkly different from our goals here at Socially Inclined. And your goals may be very different from let's say you're a Beachbody coach. Your goals might be very different from another Beachbody coach. Maybe you're trying to quit your 9-to-5. But your friend who is also trying to build a business is just trying to create a little extra income to maybe, pay off some debt or something like that. So always want to keep in mind what your goal is, because that's going to affect your actions, just like anything that you do in life and business. So the first thing I like to kind of think about is what's happening in this month. It's my favorite content strategy to incorporate themes and holidays that are coming up, because it just makes it so much more fun than if it's just black and white and the same month after month. So you want to build holidays and awareness days, monthly themes into your content plan. And being proactive about that ensures that, you're consistent, your branding is consistent, and your posting throughout the month is consistent. So I have a few steps for you here. Step 1, review your goals and think about your target audience. When you're finalizing your content calendar, you're going to take a minute to think about what those goals are and to make sure that you're still on you have your finger on the pulse of who your ideal client is. Because if you can understand those objectives, then you can understand what they need to see. Who is your ideal client this month? Are they different than they were last month? What is that person needing to hear from you in this month of July? Because that would be different than January, right? Especially if you're in fitness, especially if you're in skincare. Think about the difference in SPF usage. Think about the difference in dry skin in the lower humidity months versus needing that protection in July. So those are the kind of nuances that you want to review in this first step. So once you're kind of down with that, you're going to be thinking about the fun part, right? You're going to identify those relevant themes, the events and the holidays that are going to kind of push the buttons of your ideal client on social media. So July, right? I mentioned we're in July. July is known for summer, variety of holidays and observances. So you want to build these themes into your content plan. So what would that look like? Again, I'm going to use July because this podcast would be stupid long if I tried to do it for every month. So some examples of what it would look like in July would be Independence Day. It's no secret, socially inclined. We're here in the U.S., and our Independence Day is July 4th every single year. So create some content. If you share that theme in your business, if you're an American business, create some content showcasing your patriotic spirit. Maybe a summer barbecue recipe, a healthy one if you're in that fitness niche, or an indulgent one if you're a restaurant, or maybe you're a pampered chef presenter, or any other special promotions related to that holiday. It can be anything red, white, and blue themed. It can be anything fireworked or like explosive, and use those keywords of like igniting something, because those really kind of hone in into the feeling of July. So this would look different. You would pick different holidays, obviously, if you're way down in December, or if we stay in July, your holidays look very different if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, right? Because that's the dead of winter for you. I was in Australia for a couple months a few years back, and it was just wild. We were there in July and August, and it was so chilly. It's just crazy to think about how some of their hottest months are right around Christmas time. So identify these relevant holidays, right? What is going to be fun for your audience? What kind of digs into the heartbeat of where your ideal clients are? So in July, we also have National Ice Cream Day. Summer vacations are a huge thing. Maybe some early back to school prep. But think about those things when you're building your content calendar. So that's step 2. And step 3, you want to think about how you're going to deliver this fun content, right? You want to think about various types of content. What's going to resonate with your audience the most? Is it images? Is it videos? Is it infographics, blog articles? Think about all of those things as you're kind of doing this content calendar prep. So in this July example, it might be something, let's say you're a clothing store. So for July, you might have outfit inspiration for July 4th. And you can create a series of really cool looking images that are going to showcase different patriotic outfits for Independence Day. Anything red, white, and blue, right? And then you can even go a step further if you want to be super, we'll use socially inclined as an adjective and verb here. If you want to be super socially inclined about it, you'll include some fun hashtags like July 4th fashion and patriotic style. So something else you could do as a clothing store is those back to school essentials, right? July, as I mentioned before, marks the beginning of back to school shopping, creating an infographic or something that shows you, outlines some must-have essential clothing items for students at different ages, or if your ideal client is a specific age, you'll hone in on what that is so that your content's really speaking to the right people. So next step, right? Step 1, review your business goals and your target audience, who's that ideal client. Step 2, identify those July themes or that monthly theme. Step 3, determine your content format. How's it going to go out? What it's going to look like? What's the mix? So that you know what to make, right? Step 4 is to establish that posting schedule. And this is where you really start getting into the calendar part. When and what is going to go out and where? Because consistency is so key when it comes to social media marketing. So determine the frequency of your posts and start honing in on details, exact times and dates for when things are going to go out in this month. And you want to do a nice balance of promotional, engaging content, right? We follow the 80-20 rule, which is 4 out of 5 posts need to be educational, entertaining, value-driven in some way. And then that 5th post can be a more straight promo. You want to make sure you do promo posts, though, because that's how you make your sales. So don't overlook that part. So, for example, if you plan to post 3 or 4 times a week, you'll want that mix of promotional posts, educational content, engaging posts like our MVP strategy here at Socially Inclined. That's what we're famous for. Motivational, visibility boosting question, and then that P or presence post goes out that helps build your authority as a brand on social media. So Mondays you would share summer fashion tip. On Wednesdays you might promote a limited time 4th of July sale. And then on Friday you'd want to post like a customer spotlight or something that would show someone enjoying their summer vacation while they were wearing or using one of your products. So that's an example of 3 posts, but only one of them would be a straight promo, right? But they're all working hard for you on social media to build your online presence. So 5th step, and this one is such an important one, 5th and final, right? We have that posting schedule. Now what do? We utilize social media management tools and automation shortcuts to make our life easier. That's just a fancy way of we're going to schedule some of this stuff so we're not a slave to our phone and laptop. So to streamline these social media efforts, you might consider a social media management tool. It's no secret that Socially Sweet is one of the best out there, and we even load it up with some content for you, meaning you won't have to make all this from scratch in the first place. But these tools allow you to schedule posts in advance, but they also help you monitor your engagement, and they help you analyze the performance of your content. So, for example, you schedule content in advance using Socially Sweet or maybe another tool, and this will save you time while also making sure that you're consistent. Your posting schedule is hitting the right notes throughout the month, and these tools even have the ability to post at ideal peak times where your content is most likely to get more engagement. And if that's not enough, they also analyze the performance of these posts so that you can see how to refine your strategy. And that's not just a plug for Socially Sweet. That is kind of across the board. Social media management tools do have that benefit of being able to monitor. They've got these analytics features built in. Ours are great. Of course, I'm very partial to the Socially Sweet dashboard, but there is no shortage of options out there. If you are interested in Socially Sweet, now that I'm mentioning it, you can go to sociallysweet.com. That's Socially Sweet as in a suite of products, SUITE.com, and you can see all the details there. Also, you can get a good idea of just how much content we include in our base membership price there. So, and of course, if you have any questions about that, you can always reach me at podcast@sociallyinclined.com. So, utilizing social media management tools, it used to be something that only, a few people who are willing to delve into the techie side of things were willing to do. But now social media management tools are pretty crucial because there are just so many platforms to post on. So that's a great way to post in a lot of places, to be everywhere at once without having to log in to 8 different apps. So those are my 5 steps. I hope that I have illuminated what a content calendar is and how to create and finalize one. Again, those steps were, you want to start at the beginning. You want to think about where you're going, what your goal is, and who you're trying to reach on social media. Step 2, think about the themes, events, and holidays for this month, for the month that you're creating the calendar for. My examples were July focused because July is coming up for me right now at the time of recording this. But just think about the month that's coming up and what you want, what really resonates with your business. Step 3, determine your content types and formats. And step 4 was to create that posting schedule. When, where are you going to post? And step 5 is how you're going to post. How are you going to stay consistent? And of course, I recommend using a social media automation tool, and we love the Socially Suite dashboard here at Socially Inclined. So that's how you create a content calendar. If you want more information on how to create engaging content for the month, head over to getsociallyinclined.com and click on the blog tab and read some of those blogs over there because they are absolute fire, and that's a great place to get actual post ideas for the month that we're in that are going to get you more engagement, that are going to help you stand out, and they're going to help you look pretty socially inclined. So that's all I have for this time. Make sure if you have any feedback about this episode or a previous episode, please don't hesitate to send me an email. Podcast@sociallyinclined.com is where you can reach me. Again, I'm Jess, and if you liked this podcast, if you learned something, I would love it if you would share it with your small business friends far and wide. I'll see you next time.